Are you satisfied with the current state of your organization, or do you believe there's room for improvement? These questions are more relevant than ever before, especially when we look at the high turnover rate plaguing businesses today. In a study conducted by Amazon and Workplace Intelligence in 2022, approximately 9 out of 10 employees agreed that a strong skills development program, an abundance of career advancement opportunities, and multiple career tracks were essential criteria they would use to determine if they would work for a new employer. The survey, which included 3,000 hourly and salaried employees, revealed a startling reality. 2 out of 3 employees said it's extremely or somewhat likely they would switch employers due to insufficient opportunities for skills development or career advancement. These employees felt boxed in, with no option to transition to a different role or new career path. The talent retention problem was glaringly evident, especially with 74% of dissatisfied Gen Z and millennial employees. So as leaders, we need to ask ourselves, how can we resolve this issue? How can we ensure that all employees have access to opportunities for development and growth? How can we create a culture where our employees thrive? The answer lies in cultivating a growth mindset within our organizations. The term growth mindset was coined by American psychologist Carol Dweck in the late 1900s. This principle, rooted in the belief that one's abilities, intelligence, and talents are not static, but can be developed through persistence, hard work, and learning, was initially associated with the education and development of children. However, it's a principle that can and should be applied to organizations globally. Just as children need to be continually challenged within their school environment, adults in the workplace also need to be continually challenged for their roles to be interesting. They need to foster an attitude where they view setbacks and failures as positive, as catalysts for growth. As leaders and managers, it's our responsibility to cultivate this growth mindset in our teams. To do this effectively, we need to model these behaviors ourselves, leading by example. So the question we need to answer is, how do we create a culture of growth? So what exactly is a growth mindset? This is where we dive into the heart of the matter. The term growth mindset was first introduced by Carol Dweck, an American psychologist, towards the end of the 20th century. Initially, it was most often applied within the realm of children's education and development. The core belief of this principle is that our abilities, intelligence, and talents are not fixed or unchangeable. On the contrary, they can be developed, honed, and improved through persistence, hard work, and a commitment to learning. Now let's take this concept and apply it to the workplace. Just like children in the classroom, adults in an organization need to be continuously challenged in their work environment. This not only keeps their roles interesting, but also inspires them to strive for more. They need to foster an attitude where setbacks and failures are not seen as the end of the world, but rather as opportunities for learning and growth. The growth mindset, then, is not a static concept, but a dynamic one. It's not just about cultivating a culture where employees believe they can improve, but also about creating an environment where they are encouraged to try, fail, learn, and try again. As a leader, it falls on your shoulders to nurture this mindset among your team members. But remember, you can't simply preach it, you must embody it yourself. Being a role model for a growth mindset means demonstrating through your actions that you believe in continual learning and improvement. It means showing resilience in the face of setbacks and seeing failure not as a sign of incompetence but as a stepping stone to success. It's important to remember that a growth mindset isn't a quick fix for all your organization's problems. It's a long-term commitment to fostering a culture of learning and development. It's about creating a workplace where people are motivated to grow and improve, and where they feel safe to take risks and make mistakes. Remember, it is up to you as a leader to champion this mindset in your organization. After all, a team that believes it can improve is a team that will continually strive for excellence. The first step in cultivating a growth mindset is to welcome criticism. Now that's a tough pill to swallow for many of us, isn't it? The word criticism often brings a negative connotation, but what if we change our perspective a little? What if we start viewing criticism as an opportunity for growth and learning? It's time we stop running away from constructive criticism and start embracing it. It's time we realize that this feedback, these nuggets of wisdom, are a goldmine for personal and professional development. As leaders, we should be the first to set an example. It's crucial to not just receive, but also actively seek holistic 360-degree feedback from all corners: your superiors, your peers, your stakeholders, and most importantly, your teams. But remember, it's not just about receiving feedback, it's also about creating an environment where everyone feels comfortable providing it. It's about fostering a culture of open communication, where every voice is heard, where every opinion matters. So, how do we do that? Firstly, let's start by removing the fear of retribution. Encourage your team members to express their honest thoughts about your leadership style, and assure them that their feedback won't be held against them. Secondly, let's normalize giving and receiving feedback. Make it a regular part of your team meetings, your one-on-ones. Let's make it a part of our work culture. And lastly, let's learn to accept feedback graciously. Let's learn to say thank you when someone takes the time to give us feedback, instead of getting defensive or dismissive. Remember, criticism is not an attack, it's a gift. It's an opportunity to learn, to grow, to become a better version of ourselves. And as leaders, it's our responsibility to lead by example, to show our teams that it's okay to receive feedback, it's okay to grow, it's okay to be a work in progress. Embracing feedback is the first step towards fostering a growth-oriented environment. The second step in cultivating a growth mindset is to normalize mistakes. Now, this may sound counterintuitive. After all, nobody likes to make mistakes, right? But here's the thing. When we're too afraid to make mistakes, we limit our potential for growth. We play it safe, stick to what we know, and miss out on the opportunity to learn, to innovate, and to improve. In a growth mindset culture, mistakes aren't seen as failures. They're seen as opportunities for learning. Think about it. Every time we make a mistake, we gain valuable feedback. We learn what doesn't work, and that brings us one step closer to figuring out what does. Consider the words of Thomas Edison, the brilliant inventor. When asked about his many failed attempts to create a working light bulb, he famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's the essence of a growth mindset. So how can we normalize mistakes in our organizations? First, we need to lead by example. As leaders, we need to show our willingness to take risks, to venture into the unknown, and yes, to make mistakes. And when we do, we need to be open about it. We need to share what we've learned and how we plan to use that learning to move forward. Second, we need to create a safe environment for our teams to make mistakes. This means encouraging them to take on challenging tasks, to experiment with new ideas, and to step out of their comfort zones. And when they do make mistakes, we need to focus on the learning, not the failure. We need to ask, what did you learn from this? How can we use this to improve? And finally, we need to celebrate mistakes. Yes, you heard that right. When someone makes a mistake and learns from it, that's a cause for celebration, because it's proof that we're pushing boundaries, that we're growing, and that we're moving closer to our goals. Remember, success is not just about the ups, but also the downs. Now that we understand what a growth mindset is and how to foster it, let's consider how to implement it in our organizations. First, leaders can encourage a growth mindset by providing opportunities for development. This can be through training programs, workshops, or even by assigning challenging tasks that will push employees beyond their comfort zone. By doing this, you are showing your team that you believe in their potential and are invested in their growth. Second, encourage continuous learning. Make it clear that learning is not just a one-time event, but a continuous process. This could be through promoting learning resources, setting up a library, or even by regularly sharing interesting articles and books. Encourage your team to share their learnings too. This creates a culture where everyone is a teacher and a learner, fostering a sense of curiosity and openness to new ideas. Third, celebrate growth and effort. Often we only celebrate success, but in a growth mindset culture, effort and progress need to be celebrated too. Recognize the hard work that goes into learning something new or taking on a challenging task. When employees see that their efforts are noticed and appreciated, they feel motivated to keep pushing themselves. Also, it's important to remember that a growth mindset isn't just about the individual, but also about how we view and treat others. Encourage your team to see each other's potential and to support each other's growth. This could be through mentoring programs, peer-to-peer learning sessions, or simply by fostering an environment where everyone feels safe to ask questions and share ideas. Lastly, remember that as a leader, you play a crucial role in setting the tone for a growth mindset culture. Your actions and words can either encourage a growth mindset or hinder it, so be conscious of how you react to failures, how you give feedback, and how you talk about growth and learning. It's time to take action and cultivate a growth mindset in your organization. Remember, your organization's growth starts with you.